Is Bill ill or is he out running around the mountain?
Already.
He just mentioned that he has an emergency.
Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Sam Vandy Vandewater, Senior Planner with the Planning and Building Department, calling this November 10th, 2021 Archaeological Commission meeting to hearing at 2:02 p.m. We will begin with roll call. So Planning and Building Services is present. Museum representative.
Present.
Archaeologist representative is absent with notice. Native American representative is absent. Industry representative, it does not exist at the moment, and alternate representative.
Here.
Going on to item 2 of the agenda, Archaeological Commission Administration. The applications below will be reviewed by the Archaeological Commission. You are invited to view the meeting on YouTube and provide any information pertinent to these applications. If you have photographs of the site, you are encouraged to email them to the above email address by 2 p.m. today, November 10th. And I believe we did have submissions for specific cases.
Yes, we did have a submission. It is posted online.
Cool, thank you. We will review those submissions with the appropriate case. Did we need to turn to County Counsel Matthew Kudrowski, or are we waiting for the end of the agenda for that?
Well, Deputy County Counsel Matthew Kudrowski, I'd recommend just doing it up front.
Okay. So would you like to take lead on that, or would you like me to read this into the record?
So I can take that. So Deputy County Counsel Matthew Kudrowski, this is item 2A on the agenda. This is discussion and possible action, including adoption of resolution of the Mendocino County Archaeological Commission, finding that state or local officials continue to recommend measures to promote social distancing in connection with public meetings. So just for some background on this and this process for today and then going forward. At the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Newsom issued an executive order that temporarily suspended provisions of the Ralph M. Brown Act. Those suspensions expired on October 1st, 2021, and were replaced by the provisions of Assembly Bill 361, which amended the Brown Act. Under these new rules, a Brown Act body may continue to meet with some or all of its members participating virtually during a proclaimed state of emergency if state or local officials have imposed or recommended measures to promote social distancing. Mendocino County's public health officer issued such a recommendation on September 29th, and that recommendation was uploaded to the agenda item for today's meeting. To continue meeting virtually, each Brown Act body is required to adopt findings every 30 days, demonstrating that it has reconsidered the circumstances of the emergency and verifying that the health officer's guidance is still current. The first such finding needs to be made at the first meeting 30 days after the first virtual meeting authorized under the statute. And for Brown Act bodies that met during October, this means these findings need to be made at the first meeting in November for this body that's today. Our office has prepared a form of resolution reviewing the code sections and includes references to both the health officer's recommendation and the Department of Industrial Relations guidelines on COVID precautions. The resolution is for the consideration of the commission, and I'm here for any further questions.
Can you unmute?
Oh, yeah, second.
We've been doing this in all of our meetings, so I don't have any questions.
And then I do, just for members that might not be present that previously didn't, they preferred in-house meetings. Would this allow them to come back to the meeting, to our meetings in person if they so choose? You're muted. Sorry.
I believe this is merely authorizing the use of teleconferencing. I'm not aware that it requires it. I'd have to go back and check in with our office to see if they believe otherwise. But certainly I think the intention is that it allow for people to call in and not necessarily come in to these meetings for the purpose of, again, preventing the spread of COVID-19.
Okay. And then the only other question is, I believe after watching Subdivision Committee that we need to make a motion and formally adopt this as a commission.
I would first make sure there's any public comment on the item, and then I would, yes, there'd be a motion and a second to approve the resolution.
Sure.
You have to
So do
second.
you have any public comment on this particular item?
Trying to see if he's still on it, sorry. That was for subdivision. No, not for ARC.
Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll just make a motion. So I make a motion that we adopt the resolution of the Archaeological Commission, finding that state or local officials continue to recommend measures to promote social distancing in connection with public meetings. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Fader Sampson. We'll take a roll call vote. Planning and Building Services is an aye. Museum representative
Aye.
and alternate representative.
No,
Motion carries 2-1.
And just before that item is finalized, just to say, this will have to be redone every 30 days. If there isn't a meeting within 30 days, it's our determination we would just have that on the next agenda. A meeting would not have to be called to adopt every 30 days, just at its next scheduled meeting.
Okay. So then the next one's the 8th, so really not until the next year, it sounds like.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, do you need to make a record on that?
Yeah, you have to sign it and everything.
Okay.
Or just keep it.
I'll sign at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go down the agenda. Where's my agenda? So we'll start with section 3, which is surveys required. And we'll start with case 3A, which is CDP 2019-0018. The owner applicant is Anna Moody. The request is a standard coastal development permit after the fact to remove and relocate a 64 square foot playhouse and hot tub, and to permit 2 120 square foot storage buildings and a 450 square foot storage building. All structures are less than 100 feet from sensitive habitat areas and adjacent to State Park. This is located in the coastal zone, roughly 3 miles north of Cleone, on the west side of State Route 1, APN 069-01013, and address 27730 North Highway 1. Do we have anyone in attendance for this item?
Not for this item.
So there's no one in attendance for this item, so the discussion is open to commissioners. So if there's any comments, please, yeah, feel free to speak. Is Ken Vaugh for a particular project?
Got his name down. Or anything.
so when was the last survey done on this?
The letter from Sonoma State says there has not been any cultural resource studies done on this parcel.
Well, then I think we should have one done, because that's a very high activity area, just in my years of growing up. And I was born in 1937.
Well, according to what I read, the playhouse structure has already been moved, and it's not impeding any wildlife, and there aren't any special plant species there. The move has already occurred. The one recommendation that they make is to change the location of the electrical box from a tree to the playhouse, which seems reasonable. I don't see that a cultural study is necessary.
Sorry, where are you reading about where's the recommendation? Am I missing?
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so it looks like it's in the summary page, it's underlined, recommend, move the electrical box and associated wiring to the playhouse structure. And as compensation for that, they recommend to move the small trees and to plant native species.
So I think that's more for the habitat
Huh?
assessment.
Yeah, if you remove the mature trees, they'll cause the sand to continue to move. That's what's holding it, right?
I think so. It's a lot of eucalyptus right now.
Mm.
So I'm kind of still.
Discovery clause?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What's that?
We're considering this discovery clause.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Fader Sampson, do you have any other additional comments?
Nope.
So then I'm hearing, I'll make a recommendation that we accept the project with no survey required, but the discovery clause apply.
That's okay.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
All right. I heard a second by Commissioner Lockhart, so we'll take a roll call vote. I guess Planning and Building Services is an aye. Museum representative
Aye.
and alternate representative.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries 3-0. No survey required, but the discovery clause shall apply. None. No attendance. Did we, shoot.
Should I ask who that is? You want to bring him in and see who it is?
Um,
Because I have no idea who that is.
well, we already just took action, but I guess we could, yeah. Hi, Ken? Oh, and so if you're on your phone, you need to do *6 to unmute, or click the unmute button. There should be a little like microphone button on the bottom left. Or can you unmute?
Okay. Yeah. You hear me now? Okay. This is Anna. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Yes. We didn't have you on our list for people to speak on this item, but we just took action. I'm not sure if you were able to hear, but we recommended no survey, but the discovery clause will apply, meaning if during any ground disturbing activities anything arises, then you will need to cease your project and have an archaeologist conduct a full survey.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Excellent.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Tia should be in contact. Well, actually, just so you know, Tia will be sick for the next 2 weeks, or will be out of the office for the next 2 weeks, but I will follow through with you later today.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Very much.
Should I leave the meeting now?
If you don't have to stay on.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's see. Let me just make a note. So moving forward, let's go on to case 3B, which is MS 2020-0004. The owner is Jeanette Criggan, applicant Ron Criggan, and agent is Jim Ronco. The request is a minor subdivision of a jointly owned 19.8 acre parcel, creating 3 parcels. Parcel 1 would be 6.6 acres, parcel 2, 8.2 acres, and parcel 3, 5 acres. This is located roughly a mile west of Laytonville, on the west side of Branscombe Road, with an address of 740 Branscombe Road, Laytonville. APN 014-19059. And with us we have Matt Goins, the project planner.
Can I see the map, please?
Sure. And do we have anyone in attendance for the project?
We don't show anybody.
So no one is in attendance for this particular case, well, other than the project planner. So in that event, the discussion is open to commissioners. And I would say for myself, given the various resources and locations that Sonoma State listed in its evaluation, I'm leaning more toward the survey.
So I would suggest them.
Can you explain why? Because I think he just wants to divide the property among his 3 children.
Right, but then it does allow for density to increase. So in planning, each parcel gets 1 house and then really countless accessory structures. And so by dividing it, we're now tripling the density of it, allowing for more residences to be constructed and more buildings. Additionally, the Sonoma State, their statement is this: based on the evaluation of the environmental setting, Native American resources in this part of Mendocino County have been found primarily along ridge lines, mid-slope terraces, and in close proximity to sources of water. And then they list kind of how this project fits under a lot of those criteria.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a survey. Never know.
You want to make a motion? Or,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
let's see if Commissioner Fader-Sanson has any comments or anything.
Nope,
Do you want to make a motion?
nope.
Go ahead, you do it.
Okay. So I will make a motion that case MS 2020-0004, that a survey be required. Do I have a second?
Lois Lockhart, seconds.
So I have a second by Commissioner Lockhart. We will take a roll call vote. Planning and Building Services is an aye. Museum representative?
No.
And alternate representative.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. A survey shall be required. And you have another one? Okay.
2-1,
What did I say?
2-0.
Oh, sorry, 2-1. Apologies. Let's see. So then, let me just take the note here, 2-1. I wrote down 2-1, so at least my hand is doing the right job.
Too much going on in the air.
Yeah.
I'm a spiritual warfare.
Okay. Oh, we have 2 more. Okay, that's
I
right.
had a shocking emergency just before I came.
So did Bill. That's why he couldn't make it.
Yeah, I did.
So next on the agenda is MS 2021-0003. The owner applicant is Barbara Jean Willens. Agent is Sam Pope. The request is a 2-lot subdivision of 40-acre parcels to one 20-acre parcel and another 20-acre parcel. Location is 5 miles northwest of Willits on the east side of Timberline Road with an address of 29301 Timberline Road, APN 037-68038. And do we have anyone for the project?
Yes, we do.
Okay, please bring them in.
Barbara?
Hi, Barbara. So if you would like to unmute yourself and just, if you have any comments for the project, please,
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I had sent something to the commissioners just the other day because when it's a 40-acre parcel and my daughter built on one 20-acre side and I have a house on the other 20-acre side. When they built their house in 2010, they did a 3-acre conversion exemption and presented to the Native community to see whether they needed to be researched at that point. And there was no response from any of the Native community at that point. And that's when they were building a house. Now I just want to subdivide the 2 properties. My property is in a very heavily wooded area. It's mostly north facing and there's madrones and spurs and some tan oaks. And there's not a lot of flat areas. So I don't see how the Native people would choose this area to stay or to explore because it's not anything there. There's no creeks or anything. So anyways, I'm asking to not have to have this survey done. That's what I'm requesting. And there's no flat areas. The flat area was by the previous owner. They created the flat areas. Mostly it's hilly and heavily forested.
May I ask a question?
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
It says that this project was recommended to continue in 2018. And here we are in 2021. I'm just wondering, it's almost 4 years later, what happened?
The application was never applied for. It's applied for now.
Okay.
Actually, what's happening, I'm older, I'm 71, and I want to sell my portion. It's getting too hard to live here out in the country, so I want to sell my portion. And my daughter wants to stay, and that's kind of why we're subdividing it. If that makes sense. Yeah, okay. But 2018, there was no application filled out at that point.
It is on mostly sloped lands. Grazing.
How far is that from the Octagon House?
Really far. means by there.
Would it be?
This is the Sherwood cutoff here. We can come back up
Right,
there.
so Sherwood Valley Ranch Road
It's up over
is
here.
right here.
I thought it comes up, it come up and then it forks, just takes you back downtown and just takes you towards Fort
Oh,
Bragg
okay, I
Road.
got it turned
And the
around.
Rancheria is like way over here.
Okay.
Yeah, the Rancheria is
Okay,
like
this is,
out
so
here.
the 101 is
Right
here. 101 is here. and
yeah.
then- Okay, got it. It was turned around. In the future, I'd like to have that specially done for me, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Like N, that's E. I did pull in late. Cause, what caught my attention was, Noe River. That's okay. I lived on the land.
I'm sorry, did you have a question for me? I'm sorry, I can't hear very well. Did you have a question?
No, there's this, one of the commissioners is discussing, the project with, the project planner, Matt Goins, so they're kind of having a little
Okay.
explanation of some of
Okay,
the
Matt
natural
actually knows,
resources.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Matt actually knows the property.
It's
I would,
Okay.
nothing big logistics,
yeah, I would,
just the direction north, south, east, or west. That's
I
all.
would be willing to not require a survey, but request that
No,
future development,
Yeah, I
have a
agree.
s- have a-
Yeah, I see no need for a survey at this point in time,
yeah.
right.
Do you want to make that motion, or?
No, go ahead.
So I would make a motion that we accept the survey, or sorry, we would accept the project with no survey required, but add a condition that any future development be reviewed by the commission prior to construction. Do I have a second on that?
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'll get that one to Commissioner Fader Sampson. So I have a motion to, sorry, we already got the second, so roll call vote. So planning and building is an aye, museum representative,
Aye.
and alternate representative. Okay, motion carries 3-0. There's no survey, but any future development will be reviewed by this commission at any future date.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No, thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Let me just write down the condition.
That's heavy timber where she's at.
Emerald.
Which is, I don't think there'll be too much future development.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's no water, there's no electricity.
shall- I
You're
need
lucky to have a road.
shall be reviewed.
My parents lived out there in the early 20s, and the fire went through in 24 and totally destroyed the original rancheria.
Oh, wow, yeah,
That's how we ended up downtown,
interesting, yeah.
Okay,
in the urban area of Ukiah.
so last project under the section is 3D. This is MS 2021-0004. This is a subdivision of a 115-acre parcel, creating two lots of 72.5 and 42.5 acres. The parcel is 1 mile west of Willits on the north side of State Route 20 with an address of 1450 West State Route 20. APN 038-130-93 and -51. Again, we have planner Matt Goins as the project planner with this application. Do we have anyone in attendance?
Yes, you do.
Oh, you weren't person on that one.
Yes, I'm here. I'm David Demera.
Hi, David. So, if you have any comments for the commissioners, now is your chance to provide them. Otherwise, we might have some questions. But yeah, if you have any comments, please address the commission.
Okay, well, first of all, there's already been done 2 surveys. And the parcel is zoned for 5-acre parcels. And the reason I chose to do 2 parcels is to eliminate all the expensive studies. So, and most of the property is very steep with forest on the top where there's some flat areas. So I would respectfully ask the commission to not require a study for this.
Keep it away from your face.
Is that our?
Hi, Mr. Demir, if you don't mind muting your side of it, we're getting a lot of feedback. Like mute your watching of the video.
Okay, is that better?
Maybe try
No.
muting Commissioner Fader Sampson.
Okay,
Oh, wait, did he just hang up?
I think you did.
where's his phone? Maybe he had his phone on.
I'm not sure what it was.
Was that a canary or a parakeet?
It was Zoom.
It's a new kind of bird.
Okay. Okay, well, so we'll wait to see if he comes back on the line. It sounded like he was somewhat concluded with his statements, I believe. So it's open to the commission. And yeah, sorry, Commissioner Fader Sampson, you can unmute yourself again. We weren't sure what was going on.
That's cool.
Did he give us this password?
There he is. He's back.
Okay. Mr. Demir, I didn't know if you had any additional items you'd like to bring up. Otherwise, the commission can review. But if you do, you can either press *6 to unmute if you're on a phone, or the little unmute button on the bottom left of the screen.
Yeah. Now try talking.
No, I think I said what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you.
We're not going to be doing any building of
There are 3 sites.
Is there an actual map of the sites? Am I missing that? Because I did want to see where those were.
I know. Oh, I know.
It's in the report.
So down here where the freeway is, or here's City Willets, here's what EPA would call wetlands, is where Little Lake Tribe started. That's their original land base. And they moved further as the weather increased during winter. They moved further up, and then ended up on Sherwood Road to become Sherwood Valley Rancheria.
Right. This is like adjacent to the, is this? No, it's
So there was
adjacent
a
to
time there was a lot of occupation of the Sherwood tribe in Brook Trail, in the Brook Trails vicinity, which today we know as Brook Trail. But of course, not in those dry spots. That was mostly where there was water available and food available, acorn trees.
Commissioner Van de Water, I don't know if I agree with just letting this project go with the discovery clause, given that there are sites available. I'm open to other alternatives to maybe not necessarily require a full survey, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with just the discovery clause, given that sites have been recorded and there is the potential for more.
Correct me if I'm wrong. All he wants to do is divide the property though, right now. He's not endeavoring to build anything or.
Right, but building permits don't go through our review. So once it's subdivided, we have no more opportunity to review for future development.
When was it approved to be divided into 5-acre sections? If that was already approved, it doesn't seem to me like these big sections should be an issue.
Excuse me. With all due respect, I would like to suggest, since there are recorded sites, and this is my home tribe, home base, so to speak, and my father, the late Chief Lumpea, made me very aware of the history of my tribe, Sherwood Valley Rancheria, that at least there should be someone on site during the disruption.
Well, so that's the thing, it's a subdivision, they're only making lines. I'm more concerned about future development.
Well, that too,
Yeah,
because it's a sensitive subject.
well then, I mean, maybe we could just do the same condition as the previous one where we move forward with no survey, but any future development must come back to the commission. Does that seem reasonable to?
That is reasonable at this point in time.
Yes.
But as we know that history can change with a flip of a hat, as we've experienced for the last year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And so that it kind of bothers me, the integrity of the project, but nevertheless, I'm willing to promote peace as much as possible, but yet at the same time, I would like to see the community and people building or new people coming into the community, into our area, respect what we have, but definitely want to be pleasant and encourage development also.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Right. Okay, so it sounds like there's support for that.
Mhm.
So then I'll make a motion that we accept this project with no survey, but any future development shall any future development shall come back to the Archaeological Commission for review. Do I have a second on that?
I would second.
I have a second by Commissioner Lockhart. We'll take a roll call vote. Planning and Building Services is an aye. Museum representative?
Aye.
And alternate representative?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. No survey is required, but any future a condition shall be added to the subdivision that any future development shall be reviewed by the Archaeological Commission. Thank you, Mr. Demira. Future.
How come we can't see them?
They don't have a camera.
Be reviewed. Is that all for you, Matt?
That's it, yeah. You good?
Okay. Thank you, Matt.
Yep. You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Right, you too.
All right.
Do you know how, I'll ask you at the end of the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next section of our agenda. Review of surveys, which we have 2. So, Dirk is available, so we'll go with case 4A, which is Rec 2020-0001. The request is a major use permit and reclamation plan for seasonal gravel extraction and reclamation activities on an in-stream gravel bar known as the Stewart Bar, located on the middle fork of the Eel River. The project will involve the extraction of sand and gravel with a total annual extraction limit of 20,000 cubic yards. The project activities will occur during the summer low flow season between June 1 and October 30, with an anticipated total of 45 days per year of operation. This is located 1.5 miles southeast of Dos Rios, lying on the south side of Highway 128, with an address of 51111, 51110, and 50751 Covelo Road. APN 035-030-17, 49, and 65. And we have with us Dirk Larson, the project planner. So Dirk, I believe, Dirk, you have an item you'd like to read into the record?
Yeah, as we submitted our, here, let me turn my video on. Good afternoon, commissioners. I just wanted to introduce a memorandum. When this thing was noticed and put out, inadvertently, the applicant name listed was incorrect. And we just wanted to highlight that the applicant for this project is Wailati Resources, not Woody Heckeroth. And that's it.
Thank you. So there's no one else in attendance, so the floor is open to the commissioners for discussion.
There are no historic properties. It's not on sacred ground, and they've already asked various tribes. Less than 1% chance of buried archaeological.
And just I believe this operation has been ongoing for. Dirk, how long has this operation? It's been.
There's been
older ones.
Operation and use permits approved back to the early 1970s. Even back at that time, Sonoma State indicated there was a low probability that we'd find any resource here. And this operation really is just capturing the recruitment during this period of the year. And they're only using an excavator, a haul truck, and a water truck. That's it. There's no structures proposed on the site. And that's all there is to it. We're just taking the surface material.
Cool. I would say, hopefully we can communicate to Eileen, or Dirk, if we can communicate to Eileen, just for me personally, regardless of what action we take on this today, just a bit more detail in her field survey procedures. Because she doesn't indicate the length of her transects or any subsurface well, I guess she's in the river, so that's separate, but just a bit more detail in the procedures for me would be nice.
Okay, I'll pass that along.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So where's all this gravel going?
Dirk?
What? I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Where is the gravel going? Who's buying the gravel?
I think it's for commercial purposes, obviously, and it's going to be sold around the county, I think. They haul it off. They also have a processing plant at the head of Highway 162 where much of this material will go to be processed. And then we'll travel out from there around the county.
So, but is it, are we talking like garden supplies, or are we talking more like sanding for roads during the winter?
Sanding for roads, probably majority road construction, but also for personal use, landscaping.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have another technical question, and that is, how is removing the gravel, how is that impacting the flow of the water, the fish habitats? How is that impacting the environment of the entire project?
Well, any operation like this is heavily scrutinized. You have Fish and Wildlife involved, and they set standards that these operators must follow. Army Corps of Engineers is also involved, and that's why there's a certain period of the year in which they can extract this gravel. And some argue that it might even improve the fish habitat because we're removing some of this material out of the river. And in this particular area, within 2 or 3 miles, there's 3 or 4 in-stream mines in operation right now. But due to the drought we've experienced over the last several years, there's been very low recruitment.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, is there any more discussion by commissioners? Lois, did you have any additional items? No? Well, then I would make a motion that we accept the survey for case Rec 2020-0001 with the recommended conditions and the discovery clause. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Fader-Sampson. We'll take a roll call vote. Planning and Building Services is an aye. Museum representative
Aye.
and alternate representative.
Yes,
A motion carries 3-0. The survey is accepted with the conditions and the discovery clause. And yeah, Dirk, if you can please just communicate just a slight, like 2 more sentences into her procedures.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay. Let me just make that note.
is this considered a minerals project?
Yeah, I guess it could be mineral extraction, even though, well, yeah, sands were minerals. Very tiny ones. So let's see. Last case under this section of the agenda is 4B. This is CDP 2021-0010. The owner applicant is Don Joyce. The agent is Wynn Coastal Planning and Biology. The request is a standard coastal development permit to construct a single-family residence with an attached garage and greenhouse, a dairy barn with an attached guest cottage and greenhouse, an equipment barn with roof mount solar, a gazebo, and an equestrian shelter and riding area. The request includes expansion of the driveway, 2 production wells, a pump house, water storage, generator, fencing, and septic with request for future septic replacement. Also included in the request is the placement of temporary livestock electrical fencing, temporary portable farm stand, and temporary occupancy of a travel trailer during construction. That's a lot. So this is 4 miles north of Manchester on the east side of State Route 1, located at 16021 South Highway 1, Manchester, APN 132-210-42. Woo! I believe we do have a person on the line. Amy Wynn is with us. Hi, Amy. If you want to unmute yourself and any details or information you would like to provide to the commission, now's your opportunity.
Great. Thank you, commissioners. This is Amy Wynn, Wynn Coastal Planning and Biology. It's a pleasure to see you and welcome Commissioner Fader-Sampson. I think this is the first meeting where you've been present, so it's a pleasure to meet you. Commissioner Lockhart, good to see you again. I know you guys can't see me. It's always odd. But yes, so thank you for reviewing our report that Alta Archaeological prepared. As you can see, they did a thorough coverage of the property. The project is to bring cattle back on the property and have a residence on site to be able to manage the cattle and get a small dairy, kind of boutique dairy production going. Our clients have a cattle ranch elsewhere. I think they're very attentive to their systems and are very excited about moving out here. And we've worked very closely with them to avoid impacts to all resources on the property and are looking forward to your review of our report, of our archaeologist report.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions for this one?
I do. I'm sorry, this is the one that was approved to go forward in 2018. And I'm wondering why it's almost 4 years later and we're still here.
I think you might be thinking of a different project. This application was submitted to the county in February of 2021. The archaeological report is from 2018 because that's when we started analyzing the constraints. So what we do in our company with our clients is the first thing we do is we perform all of our studies on the properties to identify all of the constraints. And then once we know the sum total of all the constraints, then we start filling in where the opportunities are for our clients to affect their development. So so we've got their development clustered in up top on the flats up top. But it just takes a long time. So in the coastal zone, you've got biology to go through, and and it's a lot of different things to look at. We also have to prove water, so that takes another season. It just takes a while. Thank you for asking, though.
Just looking, see if there's any comments. No.
They're getting better at their job.
I know, I was gonna say that I was very appreciative of the field methods. This is exactly what I was looking for in the last survey.
Right, yeah.
Just a bit more detail, just a little
Right.
extra. I have no issue.
Well done.
Oh, so that. Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't quite hear what you said, so I thought you said you have an issue, and I was like, oh no.
No. The last survey, I just wanted like slight more details in their field methods, and what I was looking for is in this report. So like they're mentioning the transects, ground coverage, all that stuff.
Perfect. I'll let Alex and his team know.
Thank you. That would be appreciated. But if there's no other comment, I'll make a motion that we accept the survey. Do I have a second?
Lois seconds.
Okay, I got a second. We have a motion to approve the survey for CDP 2021-0010, seconded by Commissioner Lockhart. We will take roll call vote. PBS is an aye. Museum representative?
Aye.
And alternate representative?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. The survey is accepted with, I'm going to amend the motion real quick just to say with recommendations. Is that amenable to the commissioners? I'm correcting my motion to be, I recommend we accept the survey with the recommendations for the project. So I just wanted to make sure the recommendations are being included. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So motion carries 3-0. The survey is accepted with recommendations. Thank you, Amy.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
So the next on the agenda is matters from staff. Staff, Jim, do you have any items for us? Okay. So matters from the commission. I actually have an item. So as you're aware, there's the violation up near the Pacific Star Winery over on the Kibisilla side, where there was potential impacts to a historical farmstead resource. The survey was conducted and I have obtained it. I was gonna share it at this meeting, but we're kind of limited on commissioners. And I know, for example, Commissioner Cole really wanted to examine this, so I believe I'll hold off until the next meeting that Commissioner Cole is available so that we can discuss with him, as he has been very much wanting to see the survey.
Mm-hmm.
So I will not be presenting that survey at this time.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other items from any other commissioner? Hearing none. Matters from the public. Do we have any public comments or any
I
other?
haven't received anything.
Okay. And I don't see. Okay, Amy's still on, but no hand raised, so I'm assuming no. With that, I recommend adjournment of our meeting at 2:56 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second from both, so we'll go with that.
All
So
right.
this meeting has concluded at 2:56 p.m. Thank you both. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Bill messaged me